Let's start by looking at one of the key components of a Microsoft Power BI report, the data itself. The report is only as good as the quality of the data being used to generate it. So we will start by looking at how to connect to various data sources. On the Home tab of the ribbon, you'll see this group called Data. In this data group, there are some predefined sources that we might use regularly, such as Microsoft Excel workbooks, a data hub, an SQL server, or perhaps the manual creation of a table from scratch where we could either manually key in the entries to that table or copy and paste the entries if the table doesn't exist somewhere else. There's also access to the Dataverse. So, what is the Dataverse? Microsoft explains it this way. Microsoft Dataverse is a low-code data platform that allows users to create and run applications, flows and intelligent agents with common tables, extended attributes, and semantic meanings. It is a smart, secure, and scalable platform that enables users to quickly add business value with an extensible data platform that uses out-of-the-box common tables, extended attributes, semantic meanings, and an open ecosystem enabled by the Common Data Model. It is part of the Microsoft Power Platform, which is used to automate workflows and create custom business applications and data analytics. You can also use low-code AI tools, GitHub, and Azure DevOps to boost productivity, efficiency, and security with Dataverse. In a nutshell, what it means is the Dataverse is a low-code data platform that allows us to use fields from various databases without the need to worry about their compatibility. You'll be pleased to know that in this particular course, we're not going to be using the Dataverse. There are other courses available that will go through that in more detail. But for our course, we're going to be using a much more common export tool, which is CSV files or comma-separated variable files. These common data source buttons are by no means the only types of data we can connect to. If we click on this Get Data button, a drop-down menu will show a wide range of data sources that we can pull in data from. The button down the bottom opens up a dialog box that gives us a very wide selection of different data sources that we could connect to. You'll see that the list goes on and on and on. Some of these obviously require logins and credentials in order to be able to access the data stored in these particular formats. If you have those credentials, you can connect to them. One of the big advantages of Power BI is that we're able to connect to more than one data source. It can be several different sources that we're connecting to, and we can pull the data together, build a data model from those datasets, and then make one uniform data set that we can use to build our Power BI reports. The other thing is because we're not loading the data directly into a file, like an Excel workbook, we are not constricted with the same size constraints, because the worksheets have a size restriction of 16,384 columns, and just under 1.2 million rows. Power BI does not have those same constraints. So we can pull in data and refine it before it reaches the actual data model here in Power BI. So we're only using the records in the format that we want them in. Before we move on to our next step, which is to connect to a data source or multiple data sources, I want to remind you to download the zip file in this module's handout section. The zip file contains various CSV files that we'll be using during our example here, but they'll also be used during the exercise that you'll be doing towards the end of this module. So once you've ensured that you've downloaded and unzipped those files and saved them locally, please move on to the next video.